Hello, Eighth, and welcome to Religion. Today is Thursday's lesson, and look where we are. Right outside our window, we have the great, iconic Paramount Pictures here in Hollywood, California. We have the iconic gates that you may have seen on several of films you may enjoy. So, as you know, we have been researching and looking at the 1920s in social studies. The 1920s, you're going to see a greater production uh, of film. You know, you're going to see film go to the next level. Before this time period, you didn't have as what we would know as full-length feature films. You'd have various shorts that would come about with actors such as Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton, very great comedic actors. You'll eventually have animated shorts of cartoons as well, but people are going to want full-length motion pictures. So what's going to happen here, guys, is that in the 1920s, Paramount Pictures, one of the most iconic film studios that still exists and produced possibly some of your favorite films, they're going to jump right on this bandwagon, so to say, of producing silent pictures. So one of the great directors that's going to come about here, one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, is Cecil B. DeMille. Every single person in this class knows who he is because he is the individual, okay, who directed the Ten Commandments. Everybody does remember the Ten Commandments when we watched them together, the Ten Commandments in 1956, okay? It's the last film that he ever directed, but it's also the most well-known. Why did he direct that film in 1956? Well, it's twofold. Number one, he always had a great devotion to the faith, and he believed that the screen, movie theater screen, could be used as a way to share the faith with other people. He knew that people were interested in learning about Christ and the saints and the martyrs and about the Old Testament and the New Testament. And he produced many great films with sound, such as The Sign of the Cross in 1932. He would go ahead and direct The King of Kings in 1927, which is a biography about Jesus. So there's a lot that he's going to do to show us the faith on the screen. I'm going to tie in religion today with social studies because what I like to do is prior to 1956, here's the second reason why he directs that film. The founding of Paramount Pictures, okay, comes as a result of the great success that several individuals had for a few years. When I went to Hollywood, California, I visited a barn that was owned by Jesse Lasky and Cecil B. DeMille, both great producers and directors. They would begin a small operation. Eventually, it's going to turn into Paramount Pictures. So the film industry is going to boom. Because it booms to this level, Paramount Pictures, okay, is going to entrust Cecil B. DeMille to direct a film called The Ten Commandments. Now, I'm not referring to the one from 1956 that we watched. I'm referring to the one from 1923. You may not recall that there was a Ten Commandments film before the one that with Charlton Heston that we enjoyed as a class. This film in 1923 is going to have a tremendous amount of success through the box office, so commercial, they're going to make a lot of money, and the critics are going to view this film in a really positive note. It holds the Paramount revenue for 25 years. So for 25 years, this film holds a record of making the most money for any film in Paramount Pictures. Who's the one that's able to break that record, it's of course Cecil B. DeMille. He continues to direct films until The Ten Commandments in 1956. What I would like to do is, number one, if you have time to watch the whole film, it's a little over 2 hours. You can somehow get this on a television if you know how to do that. It's in the public domain, so it's free to view. So you could find it on YouTube. I have the link here. It was placed in the public domain in 2019, so just last year. So if you have time to watch the whole thing, go ahead, and you'll get the full silent film experience. But what I like to do for those that are, a little short on time, is watch the first 47 minutes of the film, okay? Watch the first 47 minutes of the film. It's produced and directed by Cecil B. DeMille. It's divided into 2 parts. I want you to watch the first part. It's a prologue. It's a prologue that creates the biblical story of Exodus, okay? That's the part I want you to watch. If you have time past the 47-minute mark, you're going to go ahead and watch a story that involves 2 brothers and their views of the 10 Commandments. What I'd like you to do is really focus in on this film. Number one, I want you to see the religious connection. Number two, I also want you to see the historical connection, have that experience as people would have in 1923. Remember, this is so fascinating to some people to see these magnificent sets. It's budgeted at $1.5 million in 1923. The box office makes $4.2 million. It's a great financial success. If this film failed, I'm sure that Paramount Pictures wouldn't be the studio we know it as today. I also would tell you we would not know the great film The Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston in 1956 either. The reason why Cecil B. DeMille makes that film again is because in 1956 you had sound and you had color. And he said if we had sound and color back then in 1923, then we wouldn't have to remake it. But he says now with this new technology, we're going to go ahead and remake it. And that's what he does. The filming of this, I really want you to look at it and see the great amount of time that was placed into this, okay? The filming that you're going to see is quite incredible. You have to know that the sets that you look at, it's not a green screen, okay? These are actually sets that are built to resemble an Egyptian desert. So the Exodus scenes were filmed in Santa Barbara County in California, and it was supposed to be Egypt. After this film was made, Cecil B. DeMille never wanted anybody to reuse these sets. So what he did is he buried them under these sand dunes, and archaeologists uncovered them in 2012 and 2014, but they had since been in great ruin. So the parting of the Red Sea is different than the parting of the Red Sea with Charlton Heston. Basically, what I like you to know is friends who like Jell-O, if you ever had Jell-O before, watch that scene, okay? And what I'm going to tell you is going to happen is basically that's a slab of Jell-O sliced into 2, okay? And it's keeping the walls of water apart while the Israelites walk through this sea. It's actually a slab of Jell-O. It jiggles. You can actually see that. And it's a creative way to see how films were made back then. Today we have so much CGI, animation, and whatnot. But here you have a silent picture. And what I'd like you to do as you watch this film is go ahead and you don't need level questions. I would say, I do sincerely want you to watch the whole 47 minutes, okay? I don't want anybody to rush through this. I'd like you to have at least 30 to 40 bullets of what is being told, what you see. I want you to focus on not, oh, the girl's nice, she's happy, oh, the man, he's really strong. No, I want you to go beyond that. I want you to be very detailed. I'll add extra points if you go beyond it, because we're going to have a little writing assignment on Friday to culminate this. But we're connecting here the 1920s with religion. I want you to focus in, really think, what do I see here that I know about? that relates to religion. And what biblical stories did this great film director put into play here? What did he do? Why did he want to share these stories with us? Why would he want to go ahead and recreate these biblical stories that we know, this biblical history? Why would he want to go ahead and do that? So that's what I'd like you to consider. Let me know if you have any questions. It should be fun. It should be enjoyable. Of course, until next time, take a look at it. If you have an opportunity, watch it with your family and make some popcorn. I have the popcorn machine, so sorry. Hopefully you have your own. Take care.